Hi Mo on the go, how are you? Guess what? I haven't been feeling that well, so I decided I have to come to the hospital and have myself tested. The doc is here. He's going to test me for dengue fever because apparently there's an outbreak in the coast and my symptoms kind of sound like there could be anything to do with anything like that. So he's going to take a sample and then do the test. And which other test are you doing, doc?
We're also doing a malaria test and we'll have a full hemogram test done as well.
Yeah, malaria and full hemogram test as well. So guys, pray for me, yeah? I'll let you know how it goes. I'm all prepped up, guys, for my blood test. Let me take a deep breath.
Just relax. Good. Sit. Just hold it there.
Mm-hmm.
For your hands. Good.
Wow, that's my blood, doc. Please take good care of it.
Definitely.
He says definitely. So if it's positive, is it like immediate?
Takes like a few minutes.
Few minutes?
5 minutes. We'll have that.
5 minutes, guys, and I'm gonna know whether I have dengue fever or not. And there it goes. The last time I saw anything like this, I was testing to see if I was pregnant. All right. Hemogram test. So why am I doing a hemogram test?
Hemogram test checks a lot of things in the blood. First of all, it checks the most important one, whether you have an infection. It could be a viral infection, a bacterial infection, or probably parasitic infection. It will give you an indicator of whether you're having either of the same. Number two, it also checks your hemoglobin levels, whether your hemoglobin is low or high. It checks your platelet levels. It checks whether your red blood cells are adequate, whether your white blood cells are adequate, whether your platelets are adequate. So it really checks a wide range of things. Yes.
So it can tell you if you have a parasite.
Yes, it can tell you. It can give you an indicator. It won't point out the particular parasite that you have, but it will give you an idea that there's a process of a parasitic infection going on, as well as for bacterial infection or a viral infection. Yes.
What are the symptoms of dengue fever?
Dengue fever comes with the following symptoms. In early stages of dengue fever, someone would be having general body malaise, general body weakness, in other words. Someone will be having a headache. Someone will be having severe joint pains. Later in the disease, someone can develop symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea as well. Someone can develop even respiratory symptoms. Okay, like maybe a slight cough or a difficulty in breathing or something. Yeah, but generally the most common features of dengue fever: general body malaise, general body weakness, nausea and vomiting, joint pains, and fever. Yes.
Thank you very
And
much.
this one also applies to malaria as well.
Yeah.
And,
What's the difference between dengue fever and malaria?
the difference particularly is the particular parasite that causes the infection. These parasites both infect human beings via mosquito, but then there are two different types of parasites. Okay, dengue fever is a different parasite, and then malaria is also a different parasite. Yes.
So in terms of the symptoms, are they any different? Will I feel different if I have malaria or dengue?
Symptoms are almost similar, like entirely almost similar. Okay, because these are a particular group of infection. They are both parasites, so they come with almost similar symptoms, but they are slightly different.
Yeah. Right now we're being told that there's an outbreak of dengue fever in Mombasa.
Yes.
Have you
there
noticed
is.
that?
Within the past, initially, early in the year, around January and early February, there was an outbreak of dengue. Then in March, it slowed down a little bit. Then at the beginning of this month, we have had a lot of cases as well.
A lot of cases of
Yes.
dengue.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my
All
office,
right.
I've been seeing like several of them,
Ah.
at least in a week.
Yeah, I went to see my bank cashier and I told her that I might have dengue fever. She told me she also had it and she was even admitted in the hospital. And she was given a lot of water.
at times it gets as severe as you're saying. Dengue fever can become very severe if
Okay.
not treated early.
Earlier.
Yeah, so the most important thing is once you start experiencing these symptoms, you go to the doctor so that you can be evaluated and
Yeah.
treated if it's the same.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much, Doc.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's Doc Edward, guys, at the Nyali Medical Center. So come and see him, eh? Let him do all your tests. Let me see my 2 tests here. Woo! They say 5 minutes. I'm seeing, I don't know what I'm seeing.
Just a minute, it is ready. Just be patient for.
I'm so impatient, guys. So hey, more on the go, subscribers. You see this the one, what do you call this thing? This one,
Single line.
yeah, this thing that measures, this one is measuring, it's measuring malaria, and it says if I have 2 lines on it, it means that I'm positive for malaria. Okay? Right now it's showing 1 line, but we don't know. We have to still wait. This other thing here, this double one, is measuring dengue fever. And this one, apparently, Doc, can you explain that again? I didn't understand.
Okay, it has 2 different components of it. The upper one is called IgM, the lower one is called IgG. So IgM detects mainly the antibody towards the virus, the parasite itself. So if the line comes at IgM, then it means probably you have been exposed to the virus. Okay, I mean the parasite. Sorry.
Yeah.
If it's at IgG, then it means you're probably having a current infection. So that is really the difference.
Oh,
We can be
I
able to
see.
tell you whether you've had a previous infection
Yeah.
or if you're having a current infection.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting to see if to turn positive or not.
Yeah. All right. So if you don't get any line, it means there's no infection.
Yeah, but already we haven't some light, so
Yeah.
let's just wait and see.
Let's just wait and see. Doc, what are the results?
So the malaria test is negative, just a single line. The dengue test shows a line at the IgM. So it means there's an antibody reaction towards the parasite. What it means is probably you're having a mild infection or probably you have had this infection before. Yes.
So what do we go? Where do we go from here?
From here, we do a full hemogram to have a confirmation for the dengue test, but for the malaria test, we're sure it's negative.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Good.
we'll
Good. Good.
take a hemogram sample.
Yeah. So actually, I have a line at the, what is it called? That one? IgG. IgM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This other side.
Yeah.
This opposite side, you're line at IgM.
Mm-hmm.
So that means probably you're having antibodies towards a previous infection, or probably you're having a mild infection at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
The body's reacting to it.
All right. So Doc, what did you say about my hemoglobin test?
So your hemogram test.
Hemogram test.
It's quite good, not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's just one concern, which is not really a big concern. So your white blood cells are normal, which means you're not having a bacterial infection, and not even a viral infection. And then your hemoglobin is also fine, 12.3, which is normal. So you're not having any anemia, which we also wanted to know about. And all the other differentials are okay. The platelet count is normal, but it's on the lower side. It's a low normal.
Yeah.
Which
And
could-
that's indicative
which-
of
Yeah, that corresponds with the dengue fever,
the dengue fever.
which we had already seen in the
Yeah.
rapid test.
Okay.
So it means we're going to treat you for dengue, and we are hoping that everything is going to be fine
Thank
at
God.
the end of this.
And you said that there's no specific treatment for dengue fever.
Yes, dengue fever doesn't have a specific treatment. What we
Mhm.
always do, because dengue fever has a certain life cycle. Okay, when it undergoes its life cycle, it gets shed off from the body.
Oh,
so
I
what
see.
we do,
How long is the life cycle for dengue fever?
life cycle for dengue fever, it takes between 10 days and 21 days
Oh, I
if
see.
it doesn't come with a complication. Okay, because at
Okay.
times during this life cycle, it might give you a complication. So
Like
if-
what?
Mainly, we call them the dengue sequelae. Okay, you could be having respiratory symptoms like difficulties in breathing and all that. You could have extensive joint issues for quite some while.
Yes.
Okay, maybe a few weeks or something. If the infection is quite severe. And again, now from these are the symptoms like probably having vomiting, diarrhea. They could make you become dehydrated and all that. Those are now the complications. But generally, the life cycle takes between 10 and 21 days.
Okay.
And then after that, you should be okay.
Hey, I'm on the go, guys. Today I'm feeling very mbaya. I'm not feeling good, but I discovered that I actually have dengue fever. And, well, I do have an infection. My platelets are a little bit slightly low, and that is indicative of a potential parasitic infection. So, obviously, since I came positive, see, I am definitely going to have to be treated. But apparently, there's no specific treatment because it's supposed to shed off the body. Let's pray it doesn't come with any complications. I'm going to fight this thing with everything. You know me and my blender. I'm going back to my blender. Oh. You know, Doc, I used to blend fruits a lot. Now I don't do it anymore.
Which is good.
Yeah, I need to do that. I need to go back and blend fruits and eat a lot of vegetables and stuff. As long as I know now what the problem is. And probably take some painkillers, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm in pain in my feet. I'm trying to walk for you. I'm trying to be on the go. But how can you be on the go with painful feet? That can't work, you know? All right. But anyway, thank you so much, Doc. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That's Doc Ed.
Yes.
Anytime you come to Nyali Medical Center here in Nyali, just come and be treated. Very reasonable price, by the way, and you'll be seen very fast. And you know, individual treatment, which is what I really like. You know, very like on the spot. I don't have to schedule an appointment that you come and see me at next week. So you have a backlog of 16 weeks, like on the NHS in the UK. If you're sick here in Kenya, you get treated that day, that very same day. Okay, which is what I just love. So I think it's good because that way we catch the problem early.
Yeah.
So do you think it's better to catch the, you know, like for example, people in the UK,
Yeah.
I'm telling these guys, you have to book appointments and these guys are like they have backlog
The
of
patients.
appointments, yeah, from the patients, yeah.
Generally for especially for like infectious illnesses, you always need to diagnose early so that you treat early, because these are diseases that are acute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, within a few days it could come from a very mild disease to a very severe disease with dire consequences. So it's really important that you get treated the instant you start experiencing symptoms.
Yes,
So it's
exactly,
really
yeah.
important.
So tell me something, just a little bit off the subject now that we've figured out that I have dengue fever. Now, and first of all, thank you so much. I really do appreciate. I feel much better. I feel good to know that I know what the problem is to some extent. So now, what do you think about the situation of COVID in India? It's scaring us, man. Do you think we can ever get to be like that?
The situation in India is it's a big worry, and this is probably because, in my opinion, the containment measures that were supposed to be put in place to try and combat COVID-19 in India were not really adhered to as much.
For example?
I understand they are having an election quite soon, and they were engaging a lot of political rallies and gatherings and all that. And then again, certain urban areas in the country are very intensely populated and people live really close together. And this is a very important factor when it comes to the spread of COVID-19.
Mm-hmm. Social distancing.
Social distancing. It's really important. Now, when people really come together a lot and they're staying in very congested environments, it's very easy for this disease to spread.
Mm-hmm.
And number three, I don't know whether you're aware, but there is a specific strain that
A new
is now
variant.
ravaging India.
Okay.
What happens, this virus is really mutating fast from one place to another. There's the new variants being reported in various regions. There's the South African variant, there's another variant in Tanzania the other day, and now there's the Indian variant.
Mm-hmm.
And when a virus mutates, it develops new features that helps it to adapt. Okay, and for that reason, its effects might at times be a little bit more than the initial strain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that is probably what is happening in India right now,
Mhm.
and what is responsible for the very high numbers of infections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's really sad, you know, when you see these people, you know, cremating so many bodies.
Yeah, it's really.
And then you imagine that they're affecting their air quality. So what are they going to breathe? If they've got smoke going everywhere.
But India has always been having a problem with pollution.
With
for a
pollution,
while,
yeah.
even before this.
So they already have.
and which is also a factor, because when
Is
you
the
have
pollution a
when you
factor?
have yes, when you have air pollution over a long period of time,
Mm-hmm.
it has an effect on the health of people. There's a certain period in China
Mm-hmm.
during the industrialization period, when emission of a lot of gases was responsible for a lot of respiratory illnesses in a lot of people. This
True.
phenomenon could be happening again in India, where a lot of people are exposed to environmental hazards through air,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This makes them have underlying respiratory
Conditions.
like,
So they could
like
even.
COPD.
That explains
And now
it.
with COVID-19, when you have underlying respiratory conditions, it makes it worse. So this is just a theory, but it's something that could
It's a
could,
theory.
could really
Yeah,
be a factor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the chance do you think that this could happen over here in Africa?
Yes, it is a possibility. It's really important that most of these African countries adhere to a lot of the containment measures so that to prevent the spread, because our facilities are not enough to be able to cater for a large number of patients, big
True.
surge of infections.
Mm-hmm.
So like in Kenya, I think the government has been trying for a while to contain the virus. Within the past 1 month, the situation was a little bit bad,
Mm-hmm.
but it's getting better now. It's
Mm-hmm.
starting to get better.
Good to know.
But it's really important that African countries really adhere to the containment measures, because it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you see in our country, like in Nairobi, there are certain areas of Nairobi, sorry, in the slums of Nairobi,
Mm-hmm.
the population is really high.
Mm-hmm.
People live close together, and if the containment measures are not really adhered to as much,
Mm-hmm.
then there's a possibility that we can have a very big surge in infections
Mm-hmm.
in Kenya as well. So
Mhm.
I think the government, in as much as it's hurting the economy, because that is also a factor, it's really important to ensure that we keep the lives of our people safe. Because if these containment measures are not really put in place, then we can have a very bad health crisis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Guys, actually, I'm trying to laugh. This is not even funny, people. There are times I shouldn't even laugh. You should be telling me off for trying to laugh. It's not even funny. There's some people talking in the background. I don't think you'll mind. Now, guess what? I've learnt a lot. We have to be careful. Yeah, just be careful, everybody. You're told about the containment measures. Let's just be careful. We don't want to have a situation like India. It's really sad. I've been to India, and I felt completely insignificant. I felt like a dot. In fact, the term dot made sense. There's so many people in India. All right, guys. So I hope that you keep yourself well. Look after yourselves. Look after your health. Go and get a health check. Don't be afraid of the doctors. Go and get checked. Come on. Bye-bye. Doo-doo. Atiko juice. That's Angela being asked why she's short, and I'm telling her that a lot of men like short women actually. And then she's saying, actually, the market is very serious for short ladies. I think that explains why me as a tall woman took so long to find anyone. Nobody wanted me. I look like a giraffe.